Here we are. It's a new year, 2021. This is my first time recording live streaming in the middle of the night. It's 12:42 a.m. here in South Florida, and I'm trying not to be too loud because my whole family is asleep. Um, but I'm long overdue for this video, so here we go. This is my week 7 voice message for Jason Moore of the Zero to Travel podcast. I decided what I'm doing, and basically I'm going to do 10, and I'm going to stop. There's no sense in bombarding him. To be totally honest, when I began that premise saying I need to do something, commit to something, and see it through, that's not necessarily like an issue that I have. So it's not like I needed to like use this as a way for me to solve this long-standing issue that I've been struggling with. That's not really true. It was kind of a knee-jerk reaction to the fact that for several months I had been telling myself I should send him a message, and I just never did. And so it was like, it was like overcompensating. I was like, all right, I'm going to force myself to do it for like 10 weeks, indefinitely. And that was enough to spur me on and get me to send him one finally. But yeah, it's not, I framed it in such a way that it was like, I really need to do this to make myself commit. But it was really just doing the one that I needed to get myself up for. And I did the one. And as if you've seen the other videos, after doing the one, after the second week, actually, after doing the second one, Jason already responded to me and put me in his podcast, put my voice message in his podcast because he liked it so much. And since then, I've continued to send him voice messages. He actually has replied to me again to let me know that he's really, really backed up on his emails. And so he's hasn't listened to them, and he will get to them. And maybe that's a kind way of telling me don't keep sending me these. But I mean, he doesn't have to listen to them. So I don't think I'm, being rude by sending him messages every week. However, I think it will be good for him to know that there's sort of an end to it all. And like I said, just 4 more videos counting this one, because I'm going to stop at week 10, and then I'll give him a chance to catch up. And hopefully he does listen to them. Hopefully he does get to know me through these messages. And then hopefully sometime later this year, there will be an opportunity for me to come on his podcast. That's what I'm, I guess, that's the next goal after getting him to respond, getting him to acknowledge me, and then him actually putting my message in his podcast, which really, honestly, was quite a surprise for me. I hadn't really thought about that happening. I just wanted to send this guy a message that I love listening to, and like somehow get his attention, have him get to know me. I did not really think about the fact that he'd put it in his actual podcast, which I guess that makes sense. I didn't know that that was one of the purposes of his request for voice messages, but I just never clicked that, oh, actually, he might put my actual voice message on the podcast. I just thought, what I say would influence something that he put on the podcast. I didn't think he would actually put my actual recording on there. So, yeah, okay, that's a long and winding kind of intro into today's message. So here we go. And so, yeah, I think, I still haven't had any views on this YouTube channel. Nobody knows about it, and I'm not doing any kind of SEO, so it really would take somebody stumbling upon it, or maybe, in 6 months, in a year, I start to have a bigger YouTube presence, and then people may stumble upon it because of just recognition or something. But anyhow, or if nobody ever sees it, that's fine too, because I'm really gonna, once I'm done with these Jason Moore videos, I'm gonna start doing more messages to my family for them to discover in the future. So anyhow, let me get ready to record, and it does look like we're good here. So all right, take one. Hopefully I can do it in one take this time. The last 2 weeks I've done 2 takes. So all right. Hey, error. That did not work. I'll have to try again. All right, let's try this again. All right, what's up, Jason? It's Max again. I just want to give you a quick. You know what? I'm just going to email him that. I don't want that to be in the voice message. All right, let's do it again. So just go right into it. Don't need to talk about this. I'll put it in the text of the email that I'm just going to stop at week 10. All right. Yo, Jason, it's Max again. So I have a list of every city that I would want to spend at least 1 week in, and also every city I'd want to spend at least 1 month in. And then there are several cities that I would want to live in for at least a year. And when you add all of them up, the entire list would take 20 years of my life to accomplish. I really just love cities that much. I love to see them, really experience them with all of my senses. I love reading about the history, studying the evolution and how particular cities were designed. And so this list, quite honestly, is the bare minimum for me. I mean, ideally, because I love cities so much, I want to return to many of them every couple years and see how they change and transform. And this list doesn't even include a lot of cities that didn't make the cut, but that I'd be happy to visit. And there are plenty of small towns, national parks, resorts, destinations like those that aren't even part of this list. And so my point is that, when I did this was about a year ago, I realized that it's just impossible. I will never see all the places that I want to see for the number of times or the duration that I want. And so I have a question for you, and that is, if this is the case for you, or if it ever was this way for you, how did you come to terms with this, and how did you approach this predicament mentally and psychologically? I really, in some ways, I struggle with it, and I really want to know for myself how I can kind of overcome this. So that's my question. I did recently have the opportunity to chat with another serial expat who hosts his own expat podcast, and we were just chatting. And with this in mind, I asked him this question as well. And I guess, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to share his answer with you right now. Maybe I'll share it with you later. But yeah, just if you can think about that and share your thoughts. Thanks. Okay, that was good enough, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna save that. What else? What else is happening? Jaguars, Jacksonville Jaguars. They locked up the first pick of the NFL draft, and they're the Jaguars. Here we go. And so that's exciting. I'm very happy about that. 7, thinking about different possible head coaches. We've got Raheem Morris, former head coach, and current coordinator. We've got Robert Saleh, another coordinator, really, really up and coming coach. Probably going to become a head coach this year. We've got Eric Bieniemy. He's the stud offensive coordinator in Kansas City. Although, Andy Reid kind of carries the reins there, so you don't know exactly who should get all the credit for what's happening there. I'm sure somewhere in the middle they both share. But the big ticket name is I should also mention Jason Garrett, former Cowboys coach, and the Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator. I forgot his name. Something Smith, maybe. It's a very average, common name, so I'm blanking. And he's relatively new too, so new to the sort of up and coming ranks. So, but yeah, we're interviewing him, but the big name is Urban Meyer, and I don't really have a preference. I have nothing against Urban. I don't know. Well, I shouldn't say I don't know, but it always struck me as odd just how fervently so many Gator fans just despise him. I never felt that way. I don't know what else to say. I just never felt this kind of animosity. I was very disappointed when he left. I was very disappointed with the way it happened. But I would always have welcomed him back with open arms. I mean, he was awesome, and he did such a great job for us that why wouldn't I be happy? I certainly wouldn't have preferred to have erased the years that he was there. So I mean, if Urban can come and do his magic in Jacksonville, that'd be awesome too. But anyway, all right, this video is getting long, and I was just trying to fill time while I did the post recording and saving and emailing, but that is finished, and so I'm going to shut this down now. I really gotta go to sleep too. So, all right, peace out.